Hi, I'm Greg Zilka, the mayor of the city of Avon Lake, Ohio. As the safety director of the city of Avon Lake, I meet regularly with the police and fire chiefs. And I was shocked in late 2012, my first year in office, of the number of cases, not only of overdoses, but also of loss of life due to heroin opiate addiction. It was just absolutely stunning to me. In my previous career, I was a teacher at Avon Lake High School, and I knew some of the names, and I knew of some of the people. So it was more than a statistic. It was a tragedy within a family, within the social group, and also within the community. And early in 2013, I brought this issue up at a city council meeting, suggesting that we had an opiate crisis. And there was stunned silence in the room when I said this. And after the meeting, the response became one of willingness to look into this and also to commit some of the city resources. We did arrange for a forum to take place in March of 2013. And that's when we declared the issue, and that's when we started to create an awareness in the community that we had this terrible crisis. We had a follow-up meeting in June, and it snowballed from there, the awareness within our community. We have seen great movement in the part of the community in understanding the problem. Recently, we did have a county-wide levy on the ballot dealing with addiction treatment, and unfortunately, that issue lost in Lorain County, but in Avon Lake it passed. I think that's indicative that we had some success. In the process of dealing with opiate addiction, we certainly needed to have recovery services available to residents in the immediate area. We did come in contact with a group called Licata, which is now called Licata Way, and they wanted to put up a wellness and recovery facility in the city of Avon Lake. It was established in Avon Lake in the heart of the city. We never received one phone call in opposition or concern. It's been a great success, and that's been a tremendous help to dealing with the recovery process. We're in a new phase in dealing with this crisis where we do have individuals who are in recovery, have been through recovery. So we hope that you will understand that this is a difficult issue. It's one that's very challenging, but there is life beyond this crisis, and we hope we can work with individuals to rebuild their lives, and so they can have a very positive impact on their local community.
My name is Harriet. I'm 63 years old, and my sobriety date is August 5th of 2015.
My name is Steven. I'm 26 years old, and my sobriety date is November 16th of 2016.
My name is Ferrell. I am 57 years old. My sobriety date is January 8th of 2015.
I used many different drugs over my years out and using. My drug of choice was really opioids.
My drug of choice was heroin and methamphetamine.
My drug of choice at the end was heroin. I started drugs and alcohol probably around the age of 14. I think I actually started with an opiate that was left in my home.
The first time I used, I was 15 years old. Started with marijuana and alcohol. That went on for a few years, and then eventually I picked up harder drugs. I did heroin, the methamphetamine, pretty much anything at that point that I could get my hands on. I
lived in an alcoholic home. My mother was a prescription addict, and my father was a drunk. And my sister and I were left pretty much on our own a lot. So I picked up at about 9 years old. My mother owned a bar, so we would steal the keys after she went to sleep, and us and our friends all went up and partied at the bar.
I had a good childhood growing up. My mom was a single mother, raising me, my brother, and my sister. And I had everything that any kid could ever want. You know, my dad, he wasn't in the picture. Because he's also an addict. Even though I wasn't exposed to any of it growing up, you know, it still happened for me.
Alcohol was easily available in my home because we had a brewmeister in the basement. It was an Irish Catholic family, and we drank heavy. We were expected to drink. I can remember a poster in my family's basement that said, "Never trust a man that doesn't drink."
And even though I saw what alcoholism had done to my father, it never entered my mind that it could happen to me. I began to think that it was my lot in life. This was it. I was going to be an addict and an alcoholic, and it was just the cost of doing business.
I had nothing left. I was living in Cleveland on the streets. I was completely homeless. I had no family in my life. I had no friends in my life. And it got to a point where I had no other choice but to either die that way or make a change.
I was, slowly killing myself there. And my wife, who was a Cleveland Clinic nurse, she was also alcoholic and a drug addict, not to the extremes I was. It ended up killing her. She didn't make it. She didn't make it through this.
I really had gotten that soul sickness, where I looked myself in the eyes and there was nothing there.
With me, the bottom kept dropping out, The rock bottom, this is crazy. I had a flat tire on my bicycle. I was riding my bicycle from Lakewood to East 40th, on a daily basis to get heroin. And one day I went out there and the tire was flat. And I knew the gig was up.
And it took a long time to get to the point where I did believe I was worth it. I deserved better, and I was tired of putting myself through it.
I've been through treatment like 4, 5, 6, 8 times.
I've been to treatment at this point 5 separate times. And while I was there, I didn't really take any of it seriously, and I wasn't ready to quit.
Any of us that are in recovery, we walk in and we've got one foot on the addiction side and one foot on sobriety. And, we just don't know where we want to fall. Thankfully, I fell on the side of sobriety, but some people don't get it. I didn't get it the first time. I relapsed several times. At one time, I had 9 years of sobriety. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready yet.
Till about 2 years ago, I finally got to the point where I was ready to quit for me.
I didn't know that this life existed until I gave it a chance. It's beautiful.
I'm so grateful for where I'm at.
There is hope.
This is a good life. Sobriety is a good life. I love sobriety.
Hi, I'm Karen. I'm 59 years old. My date for al-anon is February 3rd, 2011. My daughter's sobriety date is February 3rd, 2014. My daughter is in recovery, and her drug of choice was everything, but at the end it was heroin. When she was in high school, I suspected that something was off. A friend of hers' mom called and said that the two of them were doing drugs. After that, we did an intervention, sort of, with my husband and we tried to get her help. Of course, she fought us. Back when I was trying to look for help, it was hard to find. They told us she should be going to meetings, and so we were trying to make her go to meetings, and then they told my husband and I that we really should try al-anon, and I thought, oh, good, they're gonna tell me what to do. And they didn't. I tried a couple of meetings and it was like, they're not telling me what I want to know, so I'm not the one with the problem, she is. But that's not really the case. When you have a child or anyone that is addicted to something, you get just as sick as they do. After I finally went into al-anon, I was finding out that I can't make her do anything. I can't fix her. I have to fix myself. Just before she went to jail the last time, I had been on an al-anon weekend, and I heard so many stories, and to find out that it wasn't my fault, that it wasn't anything I did that would make her do this. I came home and I felt like I can do this. And she was supposed to go to a treatment program. I came home on a Sunday, she was supposed to go on Tuesday. And she ended up not going. And she ended up disappearing. When she went to jail, she was gone for a week, and she called me and she says, "Oh, Mom, you have to bring me these clothes and this and that, and because I have to go to court today." And I said to her, "No, I had it." I was like, "Okay, that's it." The Edna House was the saving grace. She went there right from jail. Her sponsor at the time took her, and she was met at the door by a girl with the same name as hers. It was just what she needed, and she did embrace it this last time. My advice to a parent that's learned their child is going through an addiction of some sort is to reach out for help, not just for their child, but for themselves. Get themselves to an al-anon meeting, get themselves to some kind of a recovery meeting. I always said that's the only place that you can go and really vent, and they totally understand. They take you in their arms and they just hug you. I did find that when I started talking that I started to heal. Recovery is possible.
Recovery is possible.
Recovery is possible.
Recovery is possible.